Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to be looking at Social Security and specifically the potential for fraud within the system.
Right.
Something that, affects all of us. And one source we're looking at today throws out a pretty wild statistic.
Okay.
6.5 million Americans over the age of 112 are supposedly receiving benefits.
Yeah, 6.5 million centenarians collecting Social Security.
I mean,
Does raise an eyebrow.
yeah, it certainly does. And before we go any further, if you like these kinds of deep dives into complicated topics, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any future episodes.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, that's not the only red flag that we found.
Mm-hmm.
One source highlights concerns stemming from Elon Musk's recent post on X about a lack of duplication checks in the Social Security database.
Interesting.
What exactly does that mean, and why should we be concerned?
Well, duplication checks are essentially safeguards
Okay.
to prevent the same Social Security number from being used by multiple people. So imagine a scenario where someone manages to create a duplicate entry in the database.
Right.
Suddenly, they could potentially collect benefits under the same number in different locations.
Oh, wow.
And with today's technology, there's really no reason for this vulnerability to exist.
It's almost unbelievable that such a fundamental flaw could be present in a system as important as Social Security.
Yeah, it's a head scratcher for sure.
And as if that wasn't enough, our source cites estimates from the federal government indicating a potential loss of between $233 billion and $521 billion annually
Huge.
due to various forms of fraud.
Yeah, those figures are alarming, especially when you consider that the Social Security Administration alone estimates a loss of $100 billion.
Gosh.
This level of waste directly impacts the system's long-term solvency, which is a fancy way of saying its ability to pay out benefits in the future.
Yeah.
That, of course, affects all of us and our ability to rely on Social Security down the line.
And that brings us back to that 6.5 million figure.
Right.
Seriously, think about it for a second.
Okay.
Do you personally know anyone over the age of 112?
I mean, it's highly improbable, to say the least.
Right.
And this improbable number suggests a much bigger issue.
Okay.
The integrity of the data within the Social Security Administration itself.
Oh.
It's not just about duplication. It hints at potential systemic problems that could be far more widespread.
Wow. That's pretty shocking stuff.
Yeah, it's concerning, for sure.
What do you think? Is this as surprising to you as it is to me? Let us know down in the comments, and if you're enjoying this conversation, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss any future deep dives.
Yeah, we always appreciate your engagement.
Now let's shift gears and talk about the financial challenges facing Social Security.
Okay.
It's no secret that the system is already running a deficit, with the government having to supplement it with funds from other sources.
Right, and this raises some serious questions about the future of Social Security.
Yeah.
Down the line, we might be looking at benefit cuts or a higher eligibility age. Wow.
There's a lot of uncertainty surrounding what will happen, and that uncertainty itself is a major cause for concern.
Yeah, it's definitely unsettling, and our source mentions that Social Security pays out roughly $1.5 trillion in benefits annually, and that figure is only projected to increase.
Oh, wow.
With cost of living adjustments and a growing number of retirees, especially from the baby boomer generation, the strain on the system is only going to intensify.
It's a confluence of demographic shifts and economic pressures,
Yeah.
bearing down on a system designed for a different time.
And with all this talk of fraud and waste, it makes you wonder, where is all that money actually going?
That's a question a lot of people are asking.
Right.
When reports of potential misuse of funds surface, it's only natural for people to question the efficiency and accountability of these government agencies.
It erodes trust, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
And our source points out that the government already has to supplement Social Security with funds from other sources because it's operating at a deficit.
That paints a pretty stark picture of the system's financial stability.
It does, and it leads to a discussion about potential solutions.
Okay.
Some advocate for across-the-board benefit cuts, while others propose raising the eligibility age.
Right.
Neither option is particularly popular,
No.
but they highlight the difficult choices we might face if we don't address the underlying issues.
You know what? I think it's time that we hear from you guys.
Okay.
What are your initial thoughts on all of this? Are you as surprised as I am? Are you concerned? Let us know in the comments below. And if you're finding this conversation valuable, don't forget to give us a like.
We value your insights and perspectives.
Now let's circle back to the issue of unauthorized spending,
Okay.
which our source touches upon.
All right.
It mentions allegations of misuse of funds in other government agencies like FEMA.
Oh, yeah.
It seems like this problem might extend beyond Social Security.
Well, what's particularly troubling is that these alleged instances of wasteful spending further erode public trust in government institutions as a whole. When people hear about these issues, it naturally fuels anxieties about fiscal responsibility and how our tax dollars are being used.
Absolutely. It raises the question, if these fraud estimates are accurate, what reforms or technological solutions could be implemented to safeguard Social Security for future generations?
That's a critical question and one that deserves serious consideration.
Right.
We need to think both about preventing further fraud and about ensuring the long-term financial stability of the system.
It feels like a lot is at stake here, not just for current retirees, but for future generations as well.
It's a legacy issue, one that requires us to think beyond immediate concerns.
Yeah.
And consider the long-term implications of our actions, or in this case, our inaction.
Yeah. It really does feel like we're at a crossroads.
Yeah.
One of the most striking takeaways from our sources is the sheer scale of this problem.
Right.
The figures regarding potential fraud and waste are massive.
Absolutely.
And demand serious attention.
And beyond the financial implications, there's the erosion of public trust that these allegations create.
Exactly when people feel like their hard-earned money is being mishandled, it undermines their faith in the very institutions that are meant to serve them.
And that loss of trust can have a ripple effect across society.
Right.
It can impact our political discourse and even our willingness to support important government programs.
It's a vicious cycle we need to break. Part of that involves promoting transparency and accountability within these institutions.
Transparency is key. We need clear communication and concrete actions to demonstrate that these concerns are being taken seriously.
Speaking of action, this brings us back to the question of solutions.
Right.
What can be done to safeguard Social Security for the long haul? It's a complex issue, but one that deserves our full attention.
It does. We need to move beyond simply identifying problems and start exploring viable solutions. We need to think creatively and collaboratively to find ways to strengthen Social Security's financial foundation.
That leads to another question for you, our listeners. What ideas do you have? What reforms or technological solutions do you think could help safeguard Social Security for future generations? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your perspectives. And if you've been finding this conversation insightful, don't forget to give us a like.
We always appreciate your engagement and insights.
We've covered a lot of ground today, and it's clear that Social Security is facing some significant challenges.
For sure.
But by understanding these issues, we can become more informed advocates for the changes needed to ensure its sustainability.
It's a call to action for all of us.
Yeah.
We need to stay informed, engage in these conversations, and hold our elected officials accountable for making responsible decisions.
It's about taking ownership of our collective future.
Yeah.
The future of Social Security is something we actively shape through our engagement and participation.
Well said. It's not about waiting for someone else to fix things. It's about recognizing our own power to create the future we want for ourselves and for generations to come.
This has been an incredibly insightful discussion.
It has.
Hopefully you're leaving with a renewed sense of awareness and perhaps even a bit of empowerment.
Remember, knowledge is power. By staying informed and engaged, we can all play a role in shaping a brighter and more secure future.
Thank you for joining us on this exploration of Social Security. We encourage you to continue the conversation, share your thoughts and insights with others, and stay curious.
And don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into topics that matter. Until next time, keep those minds engaged.